Open your windows in winter or freeze to death slowly. That sounds backwards, almost reckless, yet for centuries this single rule stood between warmth and misery in cold homes across Europe, Asia and early North America. Long before thermostats, insulation foam or central heating, people learned something counterintuitive about cold air, heat and survival. And once you understand it, modern winter living looks very different. Here's the interesting part. Cold wasn't the real enemy in old houses. Stagnant air was. People didn't just survive winter by piling on blankets or burning more wood. They managed airflow with precision, intention, and discipline. Opening windows in winter wasn't a mistake. It was a strategy. Why cold air was part of staying warm. Pre-modern homes were not sealed boxes. They breathed. Thick stone walls, timber frames, clay floors and lime plaster were designed to exchange moisture with the air. When windows stayed shut too long, warm indoor air became heavy with moisture from cooking, breathing and heating fires. That moisture robbed heat from the body faster than dry air ever could. Damp air conducts heat away from skin rapidly, making a room feel colder, even when the temperature hasn't changed. By opening windows briefly each day, households flushed out moist air and replaced it with cold, dry air. That new air warmed quickly near the hearth or stove, but without the dampness. The result was a space that felt noticeably warmer, even if the thermometer, if one existed, said otherwise. This wasn't folklore. It was lived physics, learned through generations of trial and error. Across cold regions, there was a shared habit. Windows were opened early in the morning, often just after the fire was rekindled. The timing mattered. Warm air rising from the hearth pulled cold air in through the windows, creating a controlled draft. The exchange lasted minutes, not hours. Once complete, windows were shut tight, and the house settled into a dry, stable warmth. This ritual wasn't optional. In many households, skipping it meant mould creeping along walls, bedding that never fully dried, and illnesses that lingered all winter. People didn't talk about humidity levels or ventilation rates, but they understood cause and effect. Fresh winter air was medicine for the house. Fireplaces were designed for this. Old fireplaces weren't just heat sources, they were engines of airflow. The chimney pulled air upward constantly, even when the fire burned low. That upward draft encouraged stale air to move out and fresh air to move in. Opening a window slightly improved the draw, making the fire burn cleaner and warmer with less smoke. This is where modern homes get it wrong. We seal everything, then struggle with cold rooms, condensation on windows, and air that feels heavy. In the past, airflow and heat worked together. Fireplaces, windows and doors formed a system, not separate features. When winter storms hit, instinct says, shut everything tight. But in older homes, total closure trapped moisture. Wet walls felt icy to the touch. Bedding absorbed dampness. Clothes never fully dried. People burned more fuel but felt colder. Opening windows daily broke that cycle. There's a reason historical advice warned against dead air. Air that doesn't move becomes a thief. It steals heat from skin, lungs and bones. Fresh air, even when cold, feels sharp and energizing. Once warmed, it holds heat better and longer. Now, this is where things get clever. The goal was never to cool the house. It was to reset it. Bedrooms and the cold air rule. Sleeping spaces followed stricter rules. In many regions, bedroom windows were cracked open at night, even during snowfall. This sounds extreme, but the logic was sound. Cold, dry air reduced condensation from breathing. Heavy blankets and feather duvets trapped body heat efficiently, while fresh air prevented the suffocating dampness that made sleep restless and unhealthy. People woke up warmer, not colder. Their bedding stayed dry. Their lungs felt clearer. This practice lasted well into the early 20th century, especially before antibiotics, when fresh air was considered critical for survival. Urban houses and shared knowledge. In dense medieval towns, airflow mattered even more. Narrow streets blocked sunlight. Fires burned constantly. Without regular ventilation, homes filled with smoke and moisture. City dwellers learned to coordinate window opening times, to manage drafts and avoid pulling smoke from neighbours' chimneys. This wasn't written down in manuals, it was social knowledge. Children learned it by watching elders, missed the routine, and everyone felt it. The science they didn't name. What historical households understood intuitively aligns with modern building science. Dry air feels warmer than humid air at the same temperature. Ventilation reduces heat loss caused by evaporation on skin. Controlled drafts improve combustion efficiency. Mold growth drops dramatically with regular air exchange. They didn't need meters or sensors. Their bodies told them what worked. Why do modern homes still need this rule, you might wonder? Well, even today, opening windows briefly in winter can really improve comfort. Just 5 to 10 minutes of cross-ventilation will flush out moisture without, significantly lowering wall temperatures. Once those windows are closed, your heating systems actually work more efficiently. The space just feels fresher, warmer, and honestly, a lot less oppressive. This isn't about wasting heat. No, it's about using it intelligently. Ancient and early modern homes, they treated air as a tool, not an obstacle. Survival wisdom was often hidden in plain sight. This rule wasn't just about comfort, not at all. In extreme winters, damp conditions increased the risk of hypothermia, respiratory illness, and frost injuries. Dry air, warm bedding, and steady heat, those were the true survival essentials. Opening windows was really part of staying alive, not just staying cozy. That's a secret, most people miss. Historical survival wasn't dramatic. It was disciplined. Small habits repeated daily made all the difference. When technology took over, we forgot a few things. Central heating and sealed construction, they changed everything. We stopped thinking about air as something that needs, management. We just assumed warmth comes only from heat sources, not from balance. As a result, many modern homes feel colder than they should, despite using more energy than ever before. The old rule sounds strange to us now because, frankly, we lost the context that made it powerful. Bringing the rule back today doesn't mean you need to live in a stone cottage to use this knowledge. Just a brief ventilation in winter mornings, especially after cooking or sleeping, can, truly transform indoor comfort. Dry heat lingers, spaces feel lighter, and the house, breathes again. This isn't nostalgia talking, it's practical, tested survival knowledge that worked for centuries. At Legacy of Survival, we don't chase myths. We uncover systems that actually worked. Opening windows in winter wasn't superstition. It was environmental intelligence, refined long before modern technology ever stepped in. And once you see that, you really can't unsee it. Warmth isn't just about adding heat, it's about removing what steals it. So next time winter sets in, don't fight the cold blindly. Work with it. Let fresh air in. Reset your space. Use the same rule that kept generations alive through brutal winters, with nothing but fire, stone, and, well, common sense. If this kind of forgotten knowledge fascinates you, make sure you're subscribed to Legacy of Survival. Like this video if it challenged what you thought you knew, and share it with someone who thinks sealing every crack is the answer. And stay with us, because honestly, history still has a lot to teach, if you know where to look.